guys.
What is this?
What? What's this?
What is this show? That's it. I think a lot of the right wingers that are perceiving this from the perspective of like my favorite content creator has more bots as opposed to your real viewers don't realize that eventually they're going to have one Fell For It Again award that is going to be too hard to comprehend, and it's going to be a life-changing moment for them. Okay, when this happens to a loved one, they'll go, I didn't think the leopards would eat my face. I did not perceive the leopards would ever eat my face. Oh, account based in India. Why does Asmongold have so many quote unquote viewers like this? And so many defenders on Twitter like this? For the record, account based in India doesn't mean that it's actually an Indian LARPer. In most circumstances, it just means bots. Okay? The question is, why is it that the most botted website, aside from Kick, which is a website that gave Asmongold a contract, by the way, is Twitter? And all of these guys on the right-wing website that is Twitter, who are constantly pumping right-wing content, like neo-Nazi content in general, okay, and highlighting neo-Nazi content, fomenting neo-Nazi style sentiment, very right-wing sentiment. Why have they decided that Asmongold is one of the guys that they are defending tooth and nail? It's very interesting. I don't think this is something that Asmongold is doing deliberately, but I think that someone has been paying attention to it and thinks that this is a good argument. Thinks this is good for not only clicks, but also to drive discontent. Why do these guys do this? They're so stupid. Yes, Asmongold is very clearly botting, chatter. What do you want me to say? Who gives a fuck? Asmongold could bot to 100K viewers or have 100K real viewers. That doesn't change that I'm correct on this argument. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't understand what this has to do with anything. Like, what, you don't have an argument, so you just lean into this shit? Okay, go bottom more then. Go buy him more bots. All you're doing here is just saying you don't know how to do math. These guys are, I feel like these guys are giving the game away, by the way, with the whole point of, bro, they've been coming here subbing just to say some dumb shit and get clapped. Hell yeah. No, keep subscribing. I love that. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. He has 30K with the bots, dude. We saw that already. I know. No, not even 30K. He had 20K with the bots. The day that Twitch, the 3-day process where Twitch actually took down the bots was the only day where Asmongold was suspiciously under my view count. We all saw it happen. Everybody remembers it. And that's precisely the reason why his audience has to fucking keep coping. Okay? That was the one day, suspiciously, where Asmongold was devoid of 20K bots. And he had like 27K or something. And that was it. It's all good, baby. Even if he had a real audience of 60,000 viewers, that still wouldn't fucking change the argument here. It has nothing to do with anything. He suspiciously stopped streaming for a couple days, and then the bots came back. Okay? He literally sent out a tweet saying it's undeniable that my metrics are botted. The tweet is still up on his Twitter. I know. It must have been a real coincidence. Yeah, look at August 20th to 21st, minus 20K viewers. You know what? Let's look at that, actually. Is that when it was? Does anyone have a link to the Twitch tracker real quick? Now that we got some cockroaches in the chat. The question is, who's doing it and why they're doing it, okay? Yeah, you can fucking keep coping. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Hasan crash out over Asmongold. Am I crashing out? Am I? Does it seem to you like I'm crashing out? Or are you just having a hard time seeing observable reality? Removing bots and artificial viewership is better for everyone on the platform. I suspect it's a work in progress, and Twitch is still A/B testing further. But you have been on the breaks. You have been on breaks, so that could be the reason. I would say 95% certainty that my channel is being botted. Any logical person would come to that conclusion. This was the day, right? What the fuck? These are clips. Why did you send me the clips? What was it? It's August, right? The 2 days. The fucking 2 days when they actually cooked the bots. What is this? Is this the... August 20th and 21st. If you go to his Twitch tracker, they are the two worst performing streams of all 2025 for him. He's saying right now at this moment, you are manufacturing a narrative regarding Renee Good. No, I'm actually manufacturing a different narrative right now. A narrative that runs around, a narrative around the truth. Where is it? I need to see. I don't know how to fucking find like the... Dude, this is the funniest thing. I can't even figure out like how to do any of this shit. Is it August 2025? Here, let's run it. Let's run it from here. Let's run it from here. Here. When was the bot purge? Like right here? Here, let's do a 2-week time period. Oh, wait, this is 2024. Fuck. God, I'm so stupid. What's this? What happened here? What happened right here? What happened right here? Asmongold chatters? Why did that happen? The viewbot purge happened on the 21st. Your channel compared to Asmongold's? That's just stats over the past 30 days. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Multiple times recently, Asmon has refused to comment on you, and here you are. Refused to comment on me? You know we can see your chats in his stream, right? where he's like very clearly talking every day. The sub numbers are the most damaging. Yeah, he has like 6K subs or something. He's talking about me right now, probably. Let's see, randomly clicking.
He's got, yeah, exactly. And what is this here? How much do you want to bet that she watches streams? I don't know if she did or not. And wait till you surpass his follower count again. And the funniest thing about me view botting, right? This is the other thing too. I'll see if he is doing it today or not.
Doing it today.
So.
Doing it today. Doing it any day.
Guys.
What is this?
What? What's this?
What is this show?
Oh no! Oh no!
Wait, what is this show?
Oh! What's this? Oh no!
Wait, I'm confused. What is he? Yeah, I get fucking, I get follower botted all the time. What?
He's also not accountable for doing this. Keep this in mind. He's not accountable for this. I'm not blaming Hasan on this, but the idea that you're going to go around and constantly delegitimize and accuse me of view botting when your channel is getting follower botted, I don't know if your channel is getting view botted or not. I have no idea. I would never accuse somebody of that. His channel doesn't look like it's being view botted. But what I will say is that it's absolutely
it doesn't
being
look like it's getting
follow-botted.
view botted.
It is. It's undeniable
well, yours
that
does.
this is happening. Look at this.
Where yours does, though. Yeah, we fucking purge bots regularly. He knew I would come in. Whoa, follower botted.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we'll look at this here in a minute. And so we got one more. Ooh.
He does this every time.
He's being follow botted.
He knows he's getting botted.
He is. He's being follow botted. This is undeniable.
Yes. I have a lot of fucking Nazi freaks that try to hate raid. That's why we have a slow stream and a follow restriction. We purge them every day.
Lot of shit. So let me look at this here. So this is the to expose worm disinformation tracker.
How do you see the viewer versus chatter ratio that in the past used to show? Yeah, he has 7,000 subs with 61,000 people watching. I have 49,000 subs with 43,000 people watching. And you can always look at chatters as well. If you look at my current chatter count, and it shows it right here, there's 39,000 active chatters in my chat. Okay? There's 39,000 active chatters in my chat. 39,000 active chatters in the chat. Currently, 43,000 viewers totally. When you look at the percentage of active viewership versus, when you look at the percentage of active viewership versus like what the viewership numbers say, which was in the past one of the best possible ways. Yeah, don't let this distract you from the fact that you said he's probably watching me right now and he was literally on your metrics when you pulled it up. Exactly. Not only does viewership not prove whether someone is more correct than another person, right? Not only does it even not matter, and the only reason why they are trying to fucking lean into this argument is because the argument doesn't have any legs to stand on. Even on top of like the viewership, even on the viewership conversation that we might be having, he still very clearly has like boosted metrics. Where do you see the actual yeah, his shit skyrockets instantly, but where do you actually see the viewership to, yeah, look at his viewership ratio. Is 68%. Look at my viewership to users ratio, 89%. Do you understand? His has rarely ever been, his used to be even worse. His viewership before the bot purge, this is January 3rd for the record, his viewership before the bot purge was at 40%. So we know not only does the users to viewer ratio, make no mistake, by the way, the users to viewer ratio is not even the perfect metric to figure this out because there are now newer bots that showcase that there's like That there are newer bots that show that like they're also getting to make it seem like there's a higher user to viewer ratio to begin with, as far as I understand. But if you look at this, for the longest time, for like the past year or so, if you look at all of his streams when he was peak botting, he had like a user to viewer ratio that was 40%. Okay? Do you think this is what 99% of his stream looks like when he talks to you, claiming something, getting into it, and then completely sidetracking? I don't know. We literally knew Asmon was going to do this when we called out the bot following in mod chat 2 days ago. Yeah. You are quite literally an outlier among top streamers with their viewer authenticity. Yes. He's been botting for a very long time. That disinfo account is making him sweat, yet he constantly relies on Hasan hate accounts for clips, but he can't handle the heat for 1 week. I know. I know. Do I think he's doing it himself? No. I don't think he's doing it himself. I think someone is doing it for him. And I think he just, obviously, why would he fucking get mad if someone is just like botting him? It makes him feel good. Remember, this is a person who stopped streaming on his main Twitch page because he got embarrassed because he couldn't like play a video game appropriately. And he got yelled at so much. Asmongold is a very insecure person. He tries to present himself as like this bold, confident individual, but he quite literally stopped streaming on his main account because he was getting yelled at and humiliated for playing like a From Software game, I think, right? It was when he rage quit Dark Souls. And it's funny because like for all the shit that people say about me, like I burned through the anger. I've broken goddamn controllers playing From Software games. So he actually quit, or was it Final Fantasy 14? I don't know. But anyway, he just had like a nervous breakdown and stopped streaming on his main account for that reason. And then he slowly but surely built up his second account, the Zach Roar one, right? You are the only person keeping Asmon relevant. He has no real audience. It's all bots. Yes, I know. My chatters are brilliant. They totally understand how this kind of stuff works. You're right. Like, you do realize he still has like 30K viewers, right? Like, that's still a pretty fucking sizable right-wing sphere of influence on this platform. Like, it's still, he might actually have less real viewership than I do, but that doesn't change the reality that he still has a pretty significant amount of viewers. And he has a very popular major YouTube channel. Now, I don't know if he's botting his YouTube channel as well, but we at least have evidence that he is certainly fucking botting. Yeah, this was Slasher. Slasher said, Asmongold got made fun of for being bad at Dark Souls, quit Twitch, and came back as the world's most evil streamer. Making him relevant by showing us that pests like this exist? No, chatters. Unfortunately for many of you, you have the woke version of object permanence, like lack of object permanence. You know how we talk about like conservatives have no object permanence, and if I go like this, peekaboo, you forget that I exist. You do the same thing. I understand it's fucking annoying to talk about him or even see him or see his commentary, and it's very frustrating. But the reality of the matter is, just because you fucking shove your head in a sandpit and just refuse to recognize that Asmongold exists doesn't mean that he's going away. Someone has to actually fucking combat it. Someone has to combat his talking points. Someone actually has to contest his legitimacy in terms that a lot of these fucking freaks understand. This is a stupid argument to make regardless, because it has nothing to do with the actual policy. But unfortunately for many people on the internet, this is the one way that they test someone's legitimacy. So every now and then, when his audience comes in here to complain about how I'm always talking about Asmongold while he's literally talking about me at the same time, I have to show them something that maybe causes them to question whether or not this person is legitimate. That's it. Because that's the reason why many of them consistently talk about how Asmongold has a lot of viewers. Asmongold has a lot of viewers. You're coping. Okay? The reason why they're doing that is because it's all vibes for them. So when you actually showcase that the one metric that they're using to show how fucking correct Asmongold is also wrong, they start second guessing themselves. Okay? That's it. I do sometimes wish that there were people that, in my community as well that had a similar perspective that understood why I was doing this kind of thing. He's still very relevant in the MMO world too, which I'm sure many people here don't care about. He's still very relevant to a lot of people, unfortunately. Exactly. He's utterly irrelevant as a political actor or commentator because like 5% of his viewers, being generous, ever interact with the real world or go outside at all. They only exist online. They will never influence or accomplish anything other than piss people off online. Yes and no. So there is some truth to what you're saying here. Okay. There is some truth to what you're saying here for sure. But unfortunately, in this administration, as much as I love saying like Twitter's not real life, this administration makes Twitter real life. Okay. Not only does this administration make Twitter real life, but Asmongold also routinely harasses people, whether it be like game devs that he demands get fired. Some of them do actually end up getting fired. So like he does have a way to move his community around in a way that has real world impact. And he does this with like regular frequency. He also does have a lot of people that are getting his talking points and then spreading it around. I mean, he's making this space a more toxic space. When you have one of the largest content creators on any platform routinely doing transphobic propaganda, routinely defending this unlawful state execution of a 37-year-old mom, how can you say that this is irrelevant and that we shouldn't talk about it at all? This is incredibly relevant. It's my backyard. This is my community. This is the space that I occupy. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it. Of course, I'm going to contest it. And I'm going to try to fight back to the best of my ability. It might not come across as important to you because you mostly just, come here just to see me, hear my takes, and you treat me like I'm fucking NPR. But I have to live in this space. Many of you don't have to live in this space. I have to live in this space. And I don't like it when I see Asmongold's monstrous audience going to other communities and fucking up those spaces as well and making this place more toxic in general. He has almost single-handedly been able to turn the landscape here, the political environment here, the landscape on this platform into a very toxic and very right-wing one, because a lot of people don't actually entertain politics from the point of ideology. They don't entertain politics from the point of policies. They entertain politics from the point of vibes. And if the vibes overall are seemingly leaning through these sorts of botting and through these sorts of fucking metrics, if the vibes overall are creating an environment where like, oh, it's actually the cool thing to be like super right wing, to say yeah based over and over again to Donald Trump videos, or if it's actually to say fuck around and find out when a 37-year-old woman gets executed in broad daylight by an ICE agent, then other people also think, like by way of peer pressure or by wanting to fit in with an in-group, decide this is the appropriate way to do politics, is the appropriate way to talk about politics, right? That's it. Twitch is your community. As much as chatters want to wave their noses at other Twitch streamers and watchers and streamers, the reality is you simply want to improve where you spend most of your time. I know. Yes. And I remember a time when it didn't used to be this way, when a lot of right-wing content creators, or a lot of dipshits for the most part, wanted to at least come across as like politically correct in an effort not to get their their funding pulled, right? So they would do this. They would just basically follow best practices because the terms of service was fairly rigorously applied in general, even if it went out of hand every now and then. There were all these other content creators like Rape Tone, for example, or Asmongold. They had seemingly these kinds of opinions, but they would just like keep them at bay. They wouldn't like openly say it. And as a consequence of that, the environment was way less toxic. But it turns out that self-censorship that they engaged in was causing them tremendous anger. And now that the floodgates are open, and now that the administration is actively trying to foment right-wing sentiment everywhere and move culture in that direction, They're increasingly expanding the permission structure of whatever kind of right-wing shit you can say. We're talking about a person who is like openly fantasizing about like having Nick Fuentes on his broadcast, right? Like that's unheard of. That's incomprehensible, many, many years ago. At the very least, Twitch's policy is inconsistent. By merit of having such a large audience, Asmongold is clearly permitted to behave in a way that wouldn't have been permissible at any other point in Twitch's history, even 2012. Exactly. And the way that they were able to justify this is by consistently leaning into outside groups like the ADL and whatnot. Anytime the ADL got mad at me, or anytime like other large content creators that I have like political disagreements with got mad at me and said I was an anti-Semitic terrorist or whatever, they would keep demanding that Twitch ban me. And when Twitch didn't ban me, they would say, oh, he owns Twitch. He owns the terms of service in Twitch. And then if I did get banned, they would move the goalposts and say, oh, he only got banned for a short period of time. He still very clearly owns Twitch. Every time they did this, they created this environment that Twitch was like hyper woke when that wasn't the case. And because Twitch clearly responds to outside influence with regular frequency, that's the reason why Asmongold never gets banned, except for when he very literally said that Palestinians deserve to be genocided. I'm Magnets? Can't believe you timed that. I don't know who Magnets is, brother. I'm sorry for your other chatter bestie that you feel like was unjustly maligned. Okay, does anyone else want that? Does anyone else want the smoke about how I like conduct myself, or how I how I do discourse and commentary? I genuinely don't know where you're coming from when you come in here and you're like, I can't believe you silenced someone that was my friend for, I don't know, an extended period of time. He has been gloating about the murder of this mom, calling her a bitch, and how they need to kill more people. You get banned instantly if you did that for Charlie Kirk. Oh, 100%. Can you imagine right after Charlie Kirk got shot, if I turned around and said R.I.P. Bozo, like on Twitter, not even on fucking Twitch, but on Twitter, if I said R.I.P. Bozo, he deserves it, and anyone who actually fucking doesn't feel that way also deserves to be shot too, in the same way that Asmongold is doing right now, what do you think would happen? Not only would there be 24/7 Fox News coverage, okay? Not only would there be Fox News 24/7 coverage on this issue, I would literally get harassed endlessly. People would be showing up to my fucking house trying to kill me, okay? And also I'd get banned off Twitch for like at least 30 days. So think about that. Think about the inconsistency. If terms of service violations is the only thing that you understand, and obviously not for you chatters are more focused on the politics of it all. But there are still people that like perceive this stuff through the lens of drama. Like how many slop tubers would make videos about that shit? Asmongold on the ice shooting. You are never going to convince these people. Shoot them, then you victory lap around them if you do. If
people
do
trying
it
to call this a murder and all that shit. Well, hey, maybe they shouldn't be in front of the car. The thing is that you're never going to convince these people that it's not, okay? Like, it doesn't matter. The only thing you have to do is crush them. You crush them completely. You never go, like, after you say, basically after you run one of them over, right? Or you shoot one of them for trying to run you over, then you victory lap around it and you send in more people and you do it even more. That's the only solution. That you're never going to win these people over. You're never going to explain it to them. You're never going to be like, oh, well, why won't you see my point of view? Because they don't want to. Why not just shoot the tires? So that way you make the car unsafe and some other innocent bystander can get hurt indiscriminately because the person didn't follow.
I mean, shooting the person in the head is making the car unsafe too. What the fuck?
The law? Nah, bro, you shoot them right in the fucking face. They said to stop the car. They said not to do this. They said to get out. And she's walking around driving around.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is literally like a lighter version of what Destiny got unpartnered for, by the way. Like, if I was in Destiny's shoes, first of all, I fucking never will be, okay? I would be losing my goddamn mind right now. Back in the day, during peak woke, when Destiny said, I don't give a fuck, the riots need to stop so bad. The riots need to stop. They're harming the Democratic Party's chances of winning the election. I don't give a fuck if a white supremacist, runs the rioters over or whatever. Okay? He got unpartnered for it. That was like, that was the beginning of the downfall for him. He got fucking perma-banned, perma-fried. I mean, he did a lot of shit past that point. That obviously caused him to never get unbanned because he was so toxic and he was like constantly harassing people, which Asmongold does with a much larger audience, for the record. So this is advocacy for straightforward violence. Yeah, he said mow down dipshit protesters. That's what Destiny said. He's literally talking about, shooting protesters in the head, shooting people driving cars in the fucking head. His audience is consistently coming in and hate rating whoever the fuck is in his crosshairs. Luckily for all the much smaller content creators nowadays, I'm in the crosshairs all the time. So they just mostly come in here and yell at me. And, that's fine. I'll take it. I can tank it, right? I can tank the entirety of the fucking conservative commentary sphere and maybe even the administration. I can tank Asmongold. It's not that big of a deal. But the reality of the matter is, this kind of statement, if I were to say this about, Charlie Kirk in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk shooting, if I just kept saying like people who want to defend Charlie Kirk also deserve the same fate, I would get banned for 30 days easy. Maybe for the rest of my life, let's be real. I might get banned from life. So the very fact that Asmongold gets to say this should call into question whether or not Twitch is woke at all. And I've talked about this before. The reason why, and by the way, this is being highlighted by Captive Dreamer, who is one of the more prominent open neo-Nazis on Twitter. Okay, a famous neo-Nazi is posting this to give you context into how far Twitch as a platform have moved to the right in what they apply terms of service to and what they choose not to apply terms of service to. I'll be very honest with you. Twitch knows Asmongold is botting. They will never do anything about it. Twitch knows Asmongold is consistently violating the terms of service. They will never do anything about it. Twitch knows Asmongold's audience is routinely harassing other content creators, much smaller content creators in general, maybe even like driving them off the platform. They will never do anything about it. And the reason why they will never do anything about it is because Twitch is fucking terrified that if one day Asmongold gets banned for any number of different terms of service violations, like inciting violence against cops, as he did last week when he perceived cops as protecting Somali civilians and business owners against like random harassers, or even in this circumstance when he's very clearly fomenting discontent and actively inciting violence. If he were to get banned, the entire right-wing movement would come down Twitch and would consistently fucking scream about how woke Twitch is. And I'm afraid a lot of people who are in the margins, like a lot of the slop tubers, would probably not even see this glaringly obvious inconsistency, and they would probably lean into that as well. And that's the reason why they are afraid of retaliation. They are afraid of retaliation because Asmongold is backed up by the most powerful person on the planet, the guy who owns Twitter, Elon Musk. Okay? That's it. That's the reason why a lot of people look the other way when they see the glaringly obvious hateful shit that he spews on a regular basis.